Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be slightly different on the topic of how to afford a Chanel bag. I get a lot of questions about this topic, so I thought I would just go ahead and do a video about it. This isn't meant to be preachy at all. I don't want to tell people how to spend or manage their money, and I certainly wouldn't ever condone spending money on a luxury item if you can't afford it. But in my experience, a lot of it does come down to, obviously, you know, earning good money and having a good job really helps, but a lot of it comes down to money management and being able to prioritize your finances in a way that allows you to be able to buy and do the things that you want. So I've definitely learnt some things over the years which I thought I would share with you today. It always strikes me as really funny when people think that you're bad with money if you afford expensive handbags or any expensive items, when in my experience that's completely the opposite. You have to be very good with money, in my experience, to be able to afford a £3,000 handbag, because they're really expensive items. So again, I thought I would just share my tips and I hope you guys find it useful, and I'm gonna get stuck right in. So my first tip is learning to prioritize and learning to be picky about what you buy. I return about 50% of what I buy, I would say. I am a chronic shopper. I shop all the time. I love shopping, but I don't keep that much of what I buy. I like to take it home. I like to try it on with everything and then be very, very finicky about the details of the item that I'm buying and the practicality of it as well. Is it something that I'm gonna wear all the time? Is it gonna be good value in terms of cost per wear? I analyze all those things, and then only a small proportion of them actually make it into my wardrobe. And this also comes from the fact that I have quite a few things in my wardrobe now, and so I can't keep on adding constantly. I have to be selective with what I pick, but that does save me a lot of money, and I think learning to be picky is a really good thing to do, and it will also help keep you focused as well. It's important when saving, obviously, to prioritize and not get distracted, and if you're picky about things, it's going to be that much easier to do. There's a quote from one of my favourite TV shows, which has now unfortunately been cancelled, called Lipstick Jungle, and it's from one of the show's characters who is a billionaire, and he stated that it's not what I can afford, it's what I choose to afford. And that's really stuck with me. It was a throwaway silly line from a TV show, but I love the sentiment of it. Just because you can afford something doesn't mean you should afford it, and I apply that to a lot of things in my life when trying to decide in the supermarket to go for the fancy option or the basic option, or, you know, deciding whether to go for a cashmere sweater or a wool sweater. Like, there are just so many instances in life where you could apply it to that, and I really just think it makes a lot of sense. So I really try and ask myself, you know, I can afford it, but should I afford it? And it's just a very, very helpful way of reminding yourself to, again, be very picky with your money and very choosy with how you part with your very well earned money. Tip number 2 is to set up separate savings accounts. This is really easy to do with the rise of internet banking. It's super easy to manage your savings accounts with just a few clicks. I currently have 4 savings accounts. Sometimes I have more, sometimes I have less. At the moment I have one for my general future savings, one for a flat, one for a holiday I want to take, and one for a handbag purchase. And having those specific accounts which are completely separate from each other really does help to keep you focused and on target. I don't contribute to them every single month, but most months I will put something in each of those accounts. And a big thing with this is to make sure that you rename each account specifically. So I don't just put holiday fund. I want to go to Asia next year with my mum, so I've named that Asia Holiday 2016. If you want to buy your first Chanel classic flap, name it First Chanel Black Classic Flap. The specificity of the name will really help you psychologically to get motivated for contributing to that account and watching the savings grow. So that is a great tip that I found. It's free to do, and it's just fun to manage your money that way and to get you excited about saving. Tip number 3 is to budget and don't get distracted. You may think that a £30 pair of shoes won't affect your bottom line, but when you combine that with a £3 coffee and a £5 magazine and a £10 top, it really does add up and can really affect how much you can save at the end of every month. If you struggle with this like I have in the past, then I found what's really helpful is to keep a money diary. Very much like if you're trying to diet, I hear keeping a food diary can really help you stay on track. A money diary will help you realize how much you're spending on often superfluous things and really help you to cut back on what's unnecessary. If you're a credit card spender like me, another tip is to switch from credit to debit. Often things carry a much different value when they're coming directly out of your bank account versus just being lumped together and presented to you as one credit card bill at the end of every month. So if you are struggling to save and you're finding yourself spending on random things, then switch to debit, and it often seems a lot more different and makes you consider the purchase a lot more when you know that that money is coming directly out of your bank account and is money that you've directly earned. Tip number 4 is to unsubscribe from marketing emails. I work in marketing, so I know marketing emails are there to distract you and to get you to spend money. So make it easier on yourself and remove the temptation and just unsubscribe from them. And always remember, if you do see something that you like, even if you miss out on this one, there will always be something else which is wonderful and pretty around the corner that you'll probably also fall in love with. So just because you're missing out on this one thing doesn't mean you're not going to fall in love with something else next month. If you're someone like me that likes to browse online shopping stores whilst on a break from work, then just cut that out of your life completely and learn to read news websites, gossip websites, whatever it is instead on your breaks. And again, just remove that temptation without just having a look and then falling in love with something online. Tip number 5 is to find a system that works for you. Something that I've used in the past and which I still continue to use if I want to save for something is only spending the week after I get paid and then having a 3-week break from spending. So if I see something that I want, whether that's clothes or I want to go to a restaurant or whatever it is, I'll add it to my wish list and then I'll revisit it when I get paid. I'll look at the list again and I'll select the things I still want, and generally that's only about 10 to 20% of my whole list because I've just fallen out of love with the other things. So that may be a very fickle approach, but I just know myself and I know I get caught up in things. So having that thinking time and revisiting it again at a later date really does help weed out the things which you're not really in love with, keeping only the things which you're absolutely going to adore and give you pleasure for a really long time. Tip number 6 may seem like an obvious one, but it is to focus on earning extra money. This is going to be the biggest factor in what you can afford, obviously, and whether that's picking up a hobby, a second job, getting a promotion and a raise at work, whatever it is, it's obviously going to really help you to afford those extra things if you can bring in more money. And that's certainly what's encouraged me and focused me to keep on driving myself in my career and at work. The knowledge that I know I like really nice things, I know I like handbags, and if I want to be able to afford those, I have to keep on working hard and progressing in my career to earn extra money to be able to afford the lifestyle that I want. Tip number 7 is to ask for contributions for your birthday and Christmas. This depends on whether you're comfortable with it, but certainly for me in recent years, people have really struggled with what to get me for birthday and Christmases, and if there's any ever small items I want, I generally just buy them myself. So people are always stumped and they're generally just very thankful when I give them an idea of something that I really want. I usually ask for gift vouchers. If you're comfortable asking for money, go ahead and do that, but it really helps you to afford those bigger items when everyone in your life contributes to them as well. So that's a big tip for me. Obviously not everyone will be comfortable doing that, but for me it's been great and has helped me to afford some things that I otherwise wouldn't have been able to. Tip number 8 is to consolidate your bag collection. I am definitely guilty of this and I am long overdue a clear out for my bags, which I hopefully will be doing in the next couple of months. But if you are a long time bag lover like me, you will more than likely have some bags in your collection which you're just not using or loving anymore, in which case don't hang on to them just for the sake of it. You can really raise a lot of money by clearing out your closet, whether that's bags or anything else in your wardrobe, and earning extra money. I'm a firm believer in quality over quantity, so it's far better to have one bag that you absolutely adore rather than lots of little bags or other bags that you're not 100% sure about. So again, I'm slightly hypocritical in this because I definitely do need to clear out my bag collection, but if you're saving for something really special, I would highly recommend looking through your wardrobe, analysing what you don't use anymore, and just being really ruthless and clearing out. Tip number 9 is so obvious I wasn't even sure that I should include it, to be honest, but that is don't get into debt. This is just common sense, but don't be tempted into just putting something on your credit card if you can't afford to pay it off at the end of the month. You may think it's just a quick and easy way to get the bag of your dreams or whatever it is that you're lusting after, but it will cost you more in the long run and will stop you from affording other things in the future. So try and be disciplined and don't spend money that you don't have, basically. Tip number 10 is start being savvy with your money. It's such a cliche, but every penny really does count. If I see something on sale that I bought a few weeks earlier and I can return it and save £3, I absolutely will, even if it's going out of my way to do so. Also, use cashback websites if you're a fan of online shopping. I've been using Quidco for about 2 years now and I've gotten £800 in cashback back, which is an insane amount. You can use it for holidays, for electricity, for your phone bill, for your grocery shopping, for absolutely anything, and it really does mount up. I think you guys have Ebates in the US and I'm a big fan of that website as well. I used it recently when I went on holiday there and it works just the same way. Cashback websites are great. Another way is to really shop around for the best interest rates on savings accounts, and if you know about investing, utilize that knowledge and invest in bonds, stocks and shares, whatever it is that you know about. Whatever it is to help you save money, it's absolutely worth it to do, even if it's just a couple of pounds, because it really does mount up. My final tip for you guys is to look at the pre-loved market if you are saving for a bag. It's a great way to save some money. About half my collection is pre-loved and I like my pre-loved bags just as much as the bags I bought from the store. When I'm out and about wearing them, it makes no difference to me where I got it, as long as I know that it's authentic. It excites me just as much as something that I bought from the store. So it's a great way of saving some money and putting that extra money towards something else. So that's it for this video, guys. I hope that you enjoyed it and you found it useful. I hope it didn't come across as preachy, because that's definitely not what I was intending at all. I just wanted to share some of my tips and tricks that I've learned along the way. I also want to say that I really believe that true enjoyment of luxury goods comes from knowing that you can afford them and that you've worked hard for them. It's really easy to get swept away with the internet and sites like the Purse Forum, where everyone seems to be buying beautiful things, but remember, it's just a handbag or a watch or whatever it is. It doesn't equal happiness at all, and there are many other things in life than having nice handbags. So don't get swept away and just remain smart and savvy, I guess. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, if you liked it, please do give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.